Everybody, today in this session we'll discuss theory of rent. In the theory of rent, we'll discuss Ricardian theory of rent. But before going through the detail of the Ricardian theory of rent, we'll discuss what is rent, what is economic rent. Then we'll go through the Ricardian theory of rent, because Ricardian theory of rent is very important and very popular theory of rent. Now, first, in general, if we talk about the rent, but before going to the rent, I would like to tell you that today session, our learning objective is to understanding the rent, then economic rent, then secondly, we will be understanding the Ricardian theory of rent. What David Ricardo said about the rent. So this is basically our learning objectives. Now, according to this, we will address three questions. First question is what is rent? Then second is what is economic rent? Then thirdly, discuss the Ricardian theory of rent. These are the three question answer we are going to address throughout this session. Now, in general, the concept of rent is used to recognize the use of land, house, or a shop. It is also referred to the hiring charges for an auto or a machine, okay, or anything like even AC machines also nowadays available on rent. Moreover, the payment received by owners of all kinds of private property will be leased out for a fixed sum. Rent is also defined as a payment a tenant makes to the landlord for hiring or using the landlord's land. So here tenant means the tenants is a person who is giving money, that is rent, for using the landlord land or any other things. Tenant, what I said, is a person who gives money for using the owner's goods or availing service. Now, this is basically in general, what is rent. Next, we'll discuss the concept of economic rent. In the concept of economic rent, we'll discuss rent from the economic point of view. Now, whenever a factor unit gets a payment over and above what is really necessary to induce it to work, the extra payment is economic rent. What I said, I repeat. Whenever a factor unit means it may be land, labor, capital, enterprise. There are four factors of production. So if we consider factor unit, labor gets a payment over and above what is really necessary, induce it to work. The extra payment is economic rent. For instance, say for example, here factor unit we are considering labor. So a person, salaried person, ready to work for a monthly salary of 5,000. Okay, so the person are ready to sell his labor with a monthly salary of 5,000. Okay, now if the person are getting monthly salary of 5,500, okay, that extra payment 500 will be the economic rent to that person. So this is how we can understand the concept of economic rent. Now another instance, like a person have invested 1 lakh rupee in a business, and the person is looking for 10% return, 10% annual return. But the person have seen that the person is getting a 15% return annually. So expected was 10% based on the calculation, but due to the demand or any other things, the person is getting 15% of return. So the person is getting 5% extra return. So that 5% can be treated as a economic rent for that particular businessman. So this is basically the economic rent. Now we'll go through the Ricardian theory of rent. Ricardo defines rent as the portion of the produce of the earth which is paid to the landlord for the use of original and indestructible power of the soil. Now here I am going to explain, first I will repeat the Ricardo definition of the rent again. Ricardo defines rent as the portion of the produce of the earth which is paid to landlord for the use of the original and indestructible power of the soil. Indestructible power of the soil means human being cannot destroy or human being cannot change the power of the soil. Okay, what is originally available, that will remain same. So this is basically the Ricardian concept of the rent. Now we'll go through the assumptions of the Ricardian theory. Ricardian theory of rent is based on some assumption. So we'll discuss those assumptions on which the Ricardian theory of rent is based. Now, Ricardo developed his theory on the basis of the following assumption. Ricardo assumed that nature is niggardly and the volume of land available is limited. Since the supply of land is limited, cultivation has to be extended to the inferior land when there is a pressure of population. What is the first assumption? Ricardo assumed that nature is niggardly, means not generous. Nature is not generous. Niggardly means not generous, and the volume of land available is limited. So since the supply of land is limited, cultivation has to be extended to the inferior land when there is a pressure of population. Now second assumption is Ricardo assumed that land has certain original and indestructible power. Indestructible power means which cannot be destroyed by the man, or it cannot be changed, for the use of which rent is paid. Ricardo means by this power fertility and location of the land. These two properties of land are original in the sense that they are given by the nature and are not artificial or man-made. The properties are indestructible in the sense that man cannot destroy or change them. What I said earlier. Then, third assumption is that Ricardo further assumed that land having different grades of fertility will be cultivated strictly in the descending order of the fertility in such a way that best land will be cultivated first and the inferior lands later. Okay, so what Ricardo thirdly have assumed that all lands have different grades, different quality of fertility, and it will be cultivated based on their grading. Like A quality lands will be cultivated first, and the inferior grade lands will be cultivated later. Then another assumption is that Ricardo assumed two tendencies. First tendency is the tendency to diminishing return in agriculture, and second, the tendency towards increasing population. So these are two tendencies. Based on this, recurrent theory of rent are being developed. So there are four assumptions we have gone through. After this, we'll go through the basic features of the Ricardian theory of rent. Now, first feature is rent of land is a payment made by tenant to the landlord, not for any service of the latter, but for the service of land. I repeat it again. Rent of land is a payment made by tenant. Tenant is the person who gives money, that is rent, to the landlord, not for any service of the landlord, but for the service of the land. Like a person is taking a portion of land from the landlord, and the person is cultivating. Okay, so after cultivation, the person need to give some produce as rent. Then second feature is land possesses certain original and indestructible powers. Indestructible powers means which cannot be destroyed by the man, or it cannot be changed. It will be same as it is. These powers are fertility and location. Okay, Ricardo, assume that land or soil have originality and indestructible powers. Okay, and these powers are fertility of the land and location of the land, and these two things cannot be changed by the man. Then another feature is rent is the difference between the price of product and the cost of cultivation, or rent is the difference between the total output and the expenses of cultivation. Then another feature, the amount of rent for any plot of land depends upon the fertility of that plot of land as compared to the fertility of the marginal land. I repeat again, the amount of rent for any plot of land depends upon the fertility of that plot of land as compared to the fertility of the marginal land. That means the land having good fertility or good grades land will have different kind of rent. And if rent are low grade, or fertility is less, or marginal productivity is there, or marginal rent, so there may not be any rent also. Then like another feature is the marginal land. Marginal land is a no rent land. Marginal land is a no rent land, since the price of the product and the cost of cultivation of the marginal land will be equal. See what I said, I am repeating again. Marginal land is a no rent land. Why? it is no rent land because the price of the product and the cost of cultivation of the marginal land will be equal. So that will go through a calculation also. So these are some basic features of the Ricardian theory of rent. Now, like if we explain the concept of rent, more specifically or mathematically, we can say that rent equal to total output minus expenses of cultivation. What I said, rent equal to total output minus expenses of cultivation. Now, if theory of rent have some criticism also. So next we'll go through the criticism of Ricardian theory of rent. Now there are many criticism the Ricardian theory of rent have faced. Out of this we'll go through a few criticism. Among them, first criticism is based on the grade or fertility capacity of the land. So it is being criticized that it is not always correct to say that the first grade lands are cultivated first. One cannot assess the fertility or grade of land unless and until it is cultivated. Now see, in the assumption and in the basic features, I was telling you that Ricardo said that land will be cultivated based on the grade fertility level. Okay, but on that ground, it is being criticized that it is not always correct to say that the first grade land means a grade land will be cultivated first. And why it cannot be said? Because without cultivation, one cannot say about the fertility level of the land or grade of the land. So first cultivation is required, then grading may happen. Then another criticism is that Ricardo says that there are no original and indestructible power of the soil. If a piece of land means portion of land, if a portion of land is continuously cultivated for years together, land lost its fertility. The power of the soil are not original and that cannot be restored by using fertilizers. Okay, see, like in the Ricardian theory of rent definition, Ricardo said that the soil power is original and indestructible. Okay, so if this concept is also being criticized by the critics, and it is being said that the portion of the land, if it is continuously cultivated, automatically the fertility level will go down and the power of the soil will be losing day by day and the original power will come down and it cannot be restored by using fertilizer. Okay, this is another important criticism. Then another criticism is that critics view that rent does not enter into price because land is a free gift of nature to the society as a whole. For an individual, land is not a free gift and it has to be paid for. Like what is the criticism based on? Ricardo assumed that rent does not enter into the price because land is a free gift of nature to the society as a whole. But practically what happens, for an individual, land is not a gift and it has to be paid for. Thus, rent must enter into price. So these are some important criticism about the Ricardian theory of rent. Now, see, today what we have discussed, definition of rent, then definition of economic rent, then we have discussed Ricardian theory of rent. In Ricardian theory of rent, we have covered definition of the Ricardian theory of rent, then assumption of the Ricardian theory of rent, then basic features of the Ricardian theory of rent, then criticism of the Ricardian theory of rent. These are the few things we have discussed in this session. Thank you everybody for attending the session.